All right, so we're detasseling. So the spot we're in on the right and left, we have our male corn, and these inside 4 rows are the female corn. We basically picked tassels, which are those things. So that's a sucker right there. So we do double down, double back. All right. There's some green snap. Kick that out. More green snap sucker right there. It's a sucker. So suckers are small, short tassels that are on super small corn. That would be a sucker. Sucker. It's gonna be a normal tassel, a sparkler sucker. Right, but for the group I'm with, we do 2 rows down, so 2 of these rows, and then we go these 2 rows to the right back. Sometimes we block it, which is doing the whole thing, going 4 down and then coming 4 back on the next one over. But that's if the field's really clean. For now, this field's not clean enough. So, picking normally. Those. That. Oh, fun times. Right. Always pick those ones. They could have tassels in them, just in case we pick them. This is a pretty clean row. We're going nice and fast. So that's a normal tassel. They're generally way brighter and easier to see because the tassel inside the corn makes them fertile. And when they're fertile, they can spread their pollen, and that just makes more corn. At this point, the corn's already here and they don't want it getting pollinated. So, but once you take it out, it's not fertile anymore. So it'll become more of the darker green you see. That's like a kind of green snap. It's a normal tassel. A hanger, it kind of hangs on the corn. So yeah, hangers are just tassels that have been cut that are sideways and just kind of hanging out on the corn. And you don't want anything on top of the corn or below, because when it goes to market, you have to have a certain percent, usually 99.8 or 5 in between there, that does not have tassels, so it can be fed and sold on the market. So that's why we detassel corn. So the hardest corn pieces to find are usually the suckers, and green snap, if there's a lot of it, can make it really hard, especially in your feet, but usually it's pretty easy picking. So with fields, usually to cut them, they have a machine go down, cut the top off. Then they have a second machine go through and take out the tassels, as many as it gets. And then they have a first group come through and first pull the field. So they have one person walk down each of these rows. And then the second time coming through, they have more specialized people usually come through and do it way faster, doing like double rowing or blocking. So that's a hanger. There's some green snap. So that's how picking usually works. Ooh. Usually we want these to pass on second poles and not third poles. The faster it's done, the faster the farmer can just have his crop ready to get to market or do whatever he needs to do with it. So, and it makes the company you work for look way better when you're picking it on second instead of third pole. So going down to the end is called a pass, and then going back to the start, which is all the way back there, is a round. And you can listen to music in the cornfields, talk to other people, can do a lot. One way too you can get tassels out is by kicking them. That works really well. And that is the end up there. So yeah, these are really clean rounds, so the people who picked this for us did really well to where we can walk through and only have a few tassels. Which is quite nice. There's the sucker. Nothing there. There's a few other types. There's some green snap. Usually with green snap, you just kick it off the base, or you can pull the tassel. It's usually easier to just kick it off the base like that. Sucker, you can kick it. More suckers. It's a hanger. There's some called sparklers, which are just ones that have a more of a yellow bit on top, and they look like if it was like a firework, it'd be sparkling. They're very shiny, so the top usually looks way more sparkly on them. They're very interesting. Hanger. This is a sparkler right there, or it could be called the candle top. Ooh, it's nice and windy out today. Makes it cooler and helps when the sun's out. Because the sun burns so much. That's why you bring sunblock. They picked this round pretty well. I'm not seeing much at all. Just normal tassel. And so inside these, the tassel's actually in there. Inside the corn itself, it's like curled up. So it'll be easier to see because the corn's way pointier in like the middle. It helps you see the tassel easier so you can pull it. Some green snap, hanger, and a sucker. Usually the faster you go in a field, as long as you're picking accurately, the better, because you can get out quicker. You save time, you get home way faster. It just saves you a lot of time in general. All right. We're doing good. We're almost to the end. And you guys will have get to see what a whole round of detasseling is like. Pretty cool. Oh, here we go. See, a sparkler looks like that. It has all those yellow bits hanging up, but they picked them all pretty well. So this field we're in currently has just mainly suckers because they're harder for the people who come in first to see. Usually they're more inexperienced people, and then we have the experienced people come in and destroy them. As in, get the corn way better just because there's more experience. Right, and there's the end of the field. Hanger. That's officially a complete round.